What's up, everybody? I am DJ Kazzeo, and welcome to Talkin All That Kazz. Now, what is Talkin All That Kazz? Real quick, breaking it down, before I even get to that, let me tell you this. You want to know anything, you want to connect with me on social media, go to this address right here, www.djkazzeo.com, all right? All my stuff's up there. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff is up there, okay? Now, for 27 years, over 27 years, I've been hosting a weekly radio show here at 90.9 FM KHTC in Salinas, California. Every one of the shows I've ever done that's in my library is now online. You can go to this address right here, mixcloud.com/DJ_Kazzeo to hear all the shows, all the music, all the interviews, everything. Okay? Now, speaking of interviews, maybe you don't have the time to go to Mixcloud and listen to the full shows, because there's thousands of hours of stuff to listen to. If that's the case, this is what Talkin All That Kazz is for. I've isolated all the interviews, taken the interview clips, put them in video form, and I'm posting them up here on YouTube for you guys to check out in a shorter time, all right? So you can just go, pick out whatever interview you want to check out, and here it is, okay? So, without further ado, let's see what I got in store for you this time around.
Hey, we got some special guests joining us on the phone right now. They go by the name of Black Stax. Welcome back to the show, my peoples.
Oh, yeah.
All right, hello.
What's happening?
How you guys doing tonight?
Doing quite relaxed.
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah.
Very well, very well. Real quick, just to remind the people, introduce yourselves so we know exactly who it is Black Stax is.
All right, I am Felicia V. Loud of Black Stax, vocal.
Yo, this is Jace EK's the MC of the crew. What's up with it?
There you go, there you go. Coming straight out of Seattle, Washington, correct?
Yes,
Correct.
SEA, the city by the sea with the conspiracy.
So man, I mean, where else is there to start other than like the news that is like captivating, dare I say, imprisoning the nation right now, the world, the whole coronavirus thing. I know there's a lot of cases up there in Seattle, right?
Yes, you are correct.
So, I mean, you know, I saw recently somewhere on social media there was it was kind of like a tour flyer. I believe you guys had like a whole like bunch of shows lined up and whatnot. With what's going on now, how does that affect the shows? How does it affect your presentation? You know, fill me in on how an artist such as yourself deals with something like this.
Well, like many artists in all of their genres of what they're working with, be it art, visual art, be it music, you know, the effect is that you have to find creative ways to be able to get your art out, to be able to share your art, to be able to see art, or to be able to hear art. And so, you know, being confined to a space where, you know, you have to try to find new ways to be heard is global. So it affects us in the same way that it affects artists around the world. But what we're not doing is we're not going to, you know, allow that to be something that dampens, the spirit, because music is the vibration of the soul. So the spirit is still living and the heart is still pumping. So you got to make sure that you're intact with the communities that you service. One is the community of self-expression, and then what it is that you offer to other people. The good thing that's happening is that we are seeing in virtual communities where artists are beginning to understand that collectively, that is where, like humanity, collectively your strength comes from your unification of everyone and not from your westernized philosophy of individualism. So that niceness, that solidness of understanding what it means to be human and how to assist and where do we help each other, that's going on right now. The shows that we had designated, there were a few, and then we had, you know, the possibilities of wanting to tour, but, you know, health comes first. So we've allowed ourselves to understand that, you know, the importance is to survive. The importance is to share. And so that's where we're laying it low. But we do have artists here and organizations here in Seattle, For Culture, there's Arts Core, you know, what's the other
Seattle
one?
Foundation. The city of Seattle has really showed up and showed out. Individual artists and groups are coming together with people who just support art, people who are artists themselves. And so we're building a financial base to help artists, you know, who are not getting these shows, who are not receiving these funds during this time. And it's a beautiful thing to watch, like independently watching people come together and build something that can be sustainable and help one another through a time where we don't know a lot of things. The fear of the unknown is very hard on the soul and the spirit, but like we talked about earlier, the knowing of the information, to know what's happening is very important. And so, you know, there's a lot of people now that are coming together and they're really supporting one another financially. They're really supporting each other mentally and spiritually through these times. And it's big up here. So, you know, as we're doing it individually, it's not everybody. You know, you still got some people that are running around like there's nothing happening. You know, they don't understand it. You know, people are jumping on movements. But, you know, this movement hopefully will gain a level of, we always talk about support local, but we'll see the value of local being caught up in this type of pandemic.
Right. You know, and the whole thing, honestly, to me, you know, and I keep saying this every time I talk to somebody, pandemic is just a combination of panic, epidemic. You know, it's just an epidemic of panic, and I mean, once you give into that, you're lost. You can't give into the fear and the hysteria. You gotta, you know, think with logic and not emotion.
That's right. That's why getting the information and having all the information is important. You know, if you don't have the information, then you act out of ignorance. Mm-hmm. You know, so we're just trying to be smart. Like Felicia said, we're trying to tap in and tie in with other artists who are, you know, finding creative ways to do things. You know, and that's the beauty of hip hop, right? It came from nothing into something. We used what we had, what was in front of us, and we created something beautiful. And hopefully, out of all this hysteria, something beautiful will come out of it.
Exactly. So, you know, talk to me. I mean, real quick. I mean, who are some other acts that I should have my ear open to out of your area?
Ooh, that's a good one. Well, I work with an agency called The Residency, residencyseattle.org, and there's a lot of young cats coming out. There's Talea and Brandon. There's Charmaine. There's Anti. There's Big Dags. There's Gray. Louvet, there's Lily, there's Kiddis, there's Bryce, there's Kid Raya, there's Santi, there's 3 Ali, there's Taj. I can go on and on and on. These are a lot of young folks who are putting in the work, who are doing the work, and they're coming out, Lexi, they're coming out with some really, really solid products. And so that's one organization I would say really tap into is the Residency Seattle.
Nice.
Outside of that, you know, it's interesting up here because there's a lot of dope artists, but the connectivity is not as strong as maybe it should be. And so sometimes I think we get caught up in names and not actions of folks. You know, we got some dope artists who are doing some real good stuff like Dre's and O War just dropped a piece. We got, Tiffany Wilson, of course. We got, I'm trying to just think of some acts. You know, Shabazz Palaces is up here. Sassy Black is up here. Who else is up here that's doing some really good things? Clem Rashad is up here. There's a lot of good acts. There's probably about, 10 to 15 really solid acts that I think, depending on your style of or taste of music, you would really dig.
There's also, I know that there's a concentration of hip hop, and Jason and I were discussing it earlier. But the combination of how hip hop engulfs, unlike other genres, every piece of aspect of other music. There are artists here as well that feed the same kind of need, like LaTanya Horace, Josephine Howe, Darius Woolrich. Jason already mentioned this to Tiffany Wilson. There's other artists that you can look for. his daughter, who was a poet, Leja Farr, Krista Bell, who was a poet, Miss Flows, who's a poet. So there's so many, and Jennifer Moore, who's a DJ, and all of these different artists who are, as we said before, are finding that we're stronger once we collectively understand what unity really is. And I think that this is we were talking about it, that this is a time where you either become more understanding of what it is that you can do collectively, or you become more ignorant about what you can accomplish individually.
Mm. Wow.
There it is right there, man. You guys definitely are connected to a whole lot of people out there. I almost feel like there should be a Black Stax Presents mixtape come out or something.
Yeah, for real. That's what I was thinking. Like, are all these people going to be on the album?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it would be great to do something, present something, and share it with the world, and have them be able to talk with you and just share music, because that's what it's about, right? It's not about how much you can hold on to, it's about how much you can let out and give to other folks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where people get caught up. Everybody gets caught up in, I want to be the biggest, I want to be the only, I want to be. But, me and Felicia like to say nobody succeeds or fails on their own, right? You can't buy all your records. You're not going to go buy all your paintings. You're not going to go to all your shows. You got to have other people participate. And this is a participatory sport, if you will. When you talk about art, it's very much engaging. It's very much inspiring, motivational, moving, informational. It gets you in your feelings. It helps you out when you're mad, sad. It just takes you in so many different directions, and so makes you talk about things you might not talk about if there was no music or art. So you just have to find a way where, you ultimately can share the platform so that it grows. You know what I mean? Nothing grows on its own. It has to be watered. It has to be nurtured. It has to have sunlight. And that's what we are. We are the environment we create.
Exactly, man. So let's talk about the current single, "When It's Over," or when it's all done. When it's all done. My bad.
It ain't over yet.
When it's all done. Fill me in on this before we jump into it. And I let you guys get back to doing your thing.
Absolutely.
So when it's all done, it's really telling. Jason and I talk a lot about what's current. Him more so than I do at times, because I like to go back a little bit. But the song itself, it is telling about where we are right now in terms of if we continue to ignore the most important thing, which is our health, which is our elders, which is our family, which is our children, which is our spirituality, which is our honesty, which is our morals. And so the song in itself kind of lends to giving off for lack of a better word, gift, to remind people that your cell phone is not your best friend. Your best friend is your best friend. The earth is your friend. Water is your friend. Without these things, air, trees are your friend. Without them, you can't live. So it's a reminder. Let's say that the song is an ode to remind you that you're not the most important thing in the world. Your contribution is.
Very powerful right there. Very powerful. Social media wise, how can people catch up with Black Stax?
Oh yeah, this is my favorite part of it, right? You can check us out at Black Stax Music, and that's BlackStax music.com. That's our website. The best way to run into us is Twitter. We're at Black Stax, all one word. And then, of course, IG, Black_Stax. So that's BLACK_STAX. We love to talk to you, love to communicate, love to have the conversation, love to stay in communication. So tap in with us however the best way you can, and let's continue this movement.
Man, I really appreciate you guys taking the time tonight. I can't wait to hear. Is there an album on the way, or what's going on?
Well, when we
got the time.
We definitely got the time. When we tour, we usually come up with an illustrate from the areas we tour from. So the flyer you saw that you mentioned earlier, we went over to overseas. We were in Italy. Mm-hmm. We were in the UK. This was in November, and we spent about 3 weeks out there right before all this stuff started to happen and the virus started to come out. We came home, And so we didn't have any, prelude to that it was happening. We just were done with the tour. And so we usually write our albums or share our works through our tours. And we like to do it because they're live sessions. It has the energy of the people. It has the honesty of the performance. It has the perfections and non-perfections of what we do live. And it just, for us, it adds an element. And so until we hit the road again, which we will do this year, we're just trying to plot and plan how to do it right. Until we hit the road, we're going to be releasing singles, A-side, B-sides. We may drop a quick little EP, but the full album, the Illustrate series, continues. That will be done once we finish the tour. But I wanted to say this really quick. Because I know how you're getting our music. I want to give a huge shout out and big respect to DJ
Audition
for the work that he does in spreading the music and getting it out, and that you cats are playing it from Wednesday Night Rec all over the country, all over the world. And so now we're making the imprint that we've been wanting to do with music. So we want to give a huge shout out to him, thank him, and thank y'all for continuing to keep hip hop alive, keep it in its rawest form, keep it in its truest form, and just sharing with people things they probably wouldn't hear anywhere and everywhere but on your station.
There you go, man.
Thank you.
Audition is a really good dude. He'd be a really great dude, but he's a Patriot fan, so I mean, hey, I can't. But he's going through a hard time right now because his boy is leaving after 20 years.
Tampa Bay.
Yeah, Tom Brady is going to Tampa. I heard about that.
Yeah, so he's a little sad right now. So oh well.
Oh well.
Anyway, though, we're gonna jump into When It's All Done. Once again, thanks to Black Stax for calling in tonight, and look forward to having you guys back on the show real soon. All right.
Thank
you.
very much.
Take care of yourself.
You too.
Well.
All right. Peace.
You too.
Peace.